McMahon, and the race has now turned to Murphy.
And you run us through the start of a phone call, because the voter screen for likely voters is one of the things that McMahon's people are questioning. So just walk us through that. It's a random call.
Yep, it's a phone numbers are randomly generated by a computer. That's the first thing. That's how we do the polls. They're RDD. The next thing is, the introduction. Hello, I'm Doug Schwartz calling from the Quinnipiac University poll. We'd like to ask your opinion about some issues in the news. And now we need to randomly select somebody in the household to speak with. It's important to randomly select the person in the household to speak with because there's a bias. Women tend to answer the phones more than men. So the random selection method that we use is we speak with the person in the household who has the next birthday. And if that person is not home, we say, okay, we will call back. We typically will do a poll anywhere between 4 and 7 nights. We like to include a weekend because we want to make sure we reach the hard-to-reach people. So every phone number gets at least 4 attempts, and we try to make sure they get a weekend attempt as well. If you just call one attempt per phone number, you're just going to get easy-to-reach people like seniors, like people who have young kids. So that's why it's important. We also, as I mentioned, call cell phones. Very important to call cell phones. The percentage of cell phone only keeps growing, and they tend to be disproportionately young people and minorities. So it is important to call cell phones. We do that in all the states that we poll in. We also will interview in Spanish. If somebody prefers to do the interview in Spanish, we will do this in Spanish. So the basic idea behind how we do the polls is giving everyone an equal chance of being selected. That's the definition of a random sample. If you conduct a random sample, you will have a representative sample of the population.
What slice are Spanish and what slice are cell phones?
I don't have it off the top of my head, but I can get you those numbers.
But how do you judge that they're really a likely voter? What are the
what we use to define a likely voter is a very simple, straightforward screen, which is how likely are you going to vote in the election. But I should point out, first we ask, are you registered to vote? If they have to be registered to vote, and they also have to say they are definitely going to vote in the election. Those are the two screens, and that's what we use. We basically, believe in that screen. It's simple. It's worked well in the past.
Is there industry standards or testing as to what is the false response you get if you ask somebody, are you registered? I would imagine there's a little embarrassment factor if you call an adult and they say, no, I'm not registered, no, I don't care.
Right. I mean, there is some of that. Again, that's also why we use the definitelys rather than definitelys or probablys. So, but people who say they definitely will vote, those are the folks that we include.
Doug, on unaffiliated voters in Connecticut, do they tend to skew more female or male, or are they pretty evenly matched?
My recollection is they're pretty evenly matched, but I'd have to double check.
And I notice here that the Democratic Party is looked upon more favorably, 49% to 40%.
Yeah.
While the Republican Party is looked on more disfavorably, 49% to 38%.
Yep.
What should Republican candidates and Democrat candidates think about those two?
Well, just that the Democrats, as I said earlier, have the party advantage, and the Republicans have to be concerned about the brand. That basically that could be taking a toll on all Republican candidates, whether you're talking about Linda McMahon or Mitt Romney. Just that here in Connecticut, the Republican brand is not nearly as well thought of as the Democratic brand.
And there seems to be some mixed, mixed feelings on the economy, state and nationally. People wouldn't exactly call it excellent in good shape, but yet they also think it's getting better. The numbers who think it's getting better on both the state and national level are increasing, and the numbers of people who think it's getting worse is decreasing. So, and this is supposed to be in a campaign about jobs and the economy, so I just thought that was kind of an interesting finding.
Right. I mean, that's certainly good for President Obama as the incumbent. The better people feel about the economy, the better people feel about the way things are going, he's going to benefit. We didn't see a big uptick in his numbers, but they did increase 2 points. He's at 14. He has a 14-point lead here in Connecticut, which, is a far cry from where he was in 2008 when he won by 23 points, but it is an improvement because we did see in earlier polls where the president only had a 7-point lead. So I think these economic numbers are part of the reason why we're seeing his matchup numbers improve.
What about the congressional and General Assembly races? What would, have any
Just
thoughts
as a
on that?
generality, the better people feel about the economy, the better it is for incumbents across the board.
Just curious, Dick Blumenthal, his numbers are 66%. Does he have the highest approval numbers
Yeah.
of anybody in the state?
He does. The 66% is the highest approval rating of any elected official in Connecticut.
Is that his highest mark, do you know?
I don't know now. I should point out these are likely voters
Yeah.
that we're just reporting on, so in terms of our trends, which were of registered voters, we can't really compare it.
But I could call him the most popular politician right now.
He is definitely the most popular. Yeah.
You answered this earlier, but the 6 points that